And now, boxing fans, are you ready? Manchester, Sheffield, and Scarborough, are you ready? For the thousands in attendance and the millions watching around the world, ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble! Introducing first, fighting out of the red corner, wearing combat camouflage and weighing in at 125 1/2 pounds, or 8 stone 13 1/2 pounds. He brings an outstanding professional record to this ring, consisting of 22 bouts with 21 victories, 15 contests ending inside the distance by knockout, and he has 1 draw. Ladies and gentlemen, here is the former British featherweight champion, former Commonwealth featherweight champion, and former European featherweight champion from Scarborough, England, the challenger, the undefeated Yorkshire hunter, Paul Engel. And his opponent across the ring, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing a leopard trimmed with Adidas, weighing 126 pounds or 9 stone even. His perfect professional record consists of 31 bouts, all 31 bouts by victory, 29 of those victories by knockout, and he has captured 2 world titles. Tonight, he makes his 12th defense of his world championship, and he plans to maintain his recognition by many as, pound for pound, one of the best in the world. Ladies and gentlemen, from Sheffield, England, presenting the undefeated WBO featherweight champion of the world, man of the British Empire, Nسيم.
We went over the rules in our dressing room. I expect a good, clean fight. Obey my commands at all time. Give me good sportsmanlike conduct. Understood? Any questions on this side here? Any questions here? All right. Touch him up.
When this is over, Jim, are we going to be singing Paul Garfunkel's "Are You Going to Scarborough Fair" for Engel? Or from the musical Hair for the champion, Manchester, England, across the Atlantic Sea? I'm a genius.
That would be Art Garfunkel and Paul Simon. Simon and Garfunkel. And round 1 begins. You caught a brief ringside glimpse of Naseem's father, Sal Hamed. And to go back to the early discussion with George Foreman about a change in style, the trainer says that he wants Hamed to be better balanced, in a tighter envelope, boxing more conventionally out of a southpaw stance, George.
And I hate the thought of that. It would be like I said earlier, sending Einstein to Harvard to get an English degree just so he could do his math. This guy's got the whole package. You should let him alone.
You can see why Engel is regarded as a pretty good defensive fighter. His head movement, his hands held high.
Conventional wisdom is that fighters revert to form. Form for Prince Nسيم is to launch wild shots from odd angles while avoiding his opponent's punches in the least conventional ways, ducking his head backward or from side to side. His edge, enormous punching power with either hand.
Now, I like what he's just done. He did something stupid, and that's what he does best. You want to call the other guy out to do the other things that he can't do. He's had a career of beating basic boxers. Why change and make him a basic boxer?
After failing to come through on a prediction of a 3rd round KO against McCullough last October, Prince Nسím stayed away from any specific round prediction for a knockout in this fight. But as his confidence grew in the last couple days, he did say, "Don't blink."
Prince looking for an opening in that shell defense from Engel.
Hey, Harold Letterman, they're wearing different colored gloves. Is there a story there?
Yeah, Jim. At the rules meeting, the champion picks first. He picked a brand new pair of red gloves. They didn't have another pair of brand new red gloves left. So Paul Engel got stuck with the yellow.
Don't blink. Engel goes down on the left hand. Hadn't been knocked down in 5 years. Only the second time in his career he's been knocked down. I guess the punching power remains intact.
The power is there. Now you look, Joe Cortez, when you see him in the ring, that means the champion is not worried about losing his crown. But this man has integrity. He should be crowned the referee, the best referee as far as integrity is concerned.
Hard right hand by Hamed. Drives Engel into the ropes. Prince Nacim has landed some power wallops in the first round. 2 left hands and a right. And now Engel lands a right hand coming back. As you know, Naz has been down before plenty of times. He was down 3 times against Kevin Kelly in his first appearance on HBO. But as he says to us, hey, I always bounce back up. Round 1 ends. Nacim scored the knockdown against Engel.
Nacim trying to fight from a conventional stance, left to the body, left to the head. Beautiful 2-punch combination.
Naz promised us more body shots than we've seen in the past, and the left to the body there perfectly set up the power shot. In round 1, Prince Nacim landing 18 of 52 punches by CompuBox numbers, 17 of the power shots. Engel, 5 of only 38. And Engel had promised us that he would throw 140 punches around. No problem, he said. 38 punches in the first round, only 102 short of his predicted number. It's hard to throw a lot of punches against Prince Nacim, George, because he stays at a distance and dodges from side to side.
He'll slide his lead foot ahead and then slide it back to you. So he keeps in position to put that foot right back up there and hit you. I like that. Slide in, slide out.
Nacim misses with the right hand. He's only thrown a few jabs. Engel just has not been able to set up and mount an offense because he cannot or will not get close. This after claiming to us that he would come in and put his face on Nacim's face and try to fight him in a phone booth. It only took one left hand to alter that strategy.
Once you taste that kind of power from a guy like that, you got to protect yourself.
Incidentally, with regard to the use of the term title here, Naz doesn't own one of the 3 more notorious titles given by the well-known so-called governing bodies. The one he owns is a sort of off-brand. But in terms of his public impact and his accomplishment, he's the #1 featherweight in the sport. That's why we designate him as the champion.
He is definitely the champion. He's better beware that Engel has come here to win. Even though you knock him out, you can't play with him.
Engel comes in close. Naz lands an uppercut. And you see the fluidity with which Prince Nacim is able to throw his combinations with power shots when you get in close.
You have to be careful. Engel is using elbows a little here.
Oh, he said he'll use everything. Elbows, forehead. He said you can't mess around in there. You got to do anything you can to hurt the guy.
I don't like the idea of a guy gloves on it and ungloved elbows. I think for a lot of guys out there who would like to be referees, they should really watch Joe Cortez. Most you see him out of the picture, which is the best picture you want to see for a referee.
I do remember him getting into the picture to count out Michael Moore on November 5, 1994.
Ups.
Uppercut lands for Nassim, backs Engel up again.
Engel is starting to use his footwork left and right, and that's what I would do. Anything that Nassim does tonight, remember, he's half-heartedly doing it. He's messed up in training camp.
For the featherweight championship of Yorkshire and the world.
Okay, that's good, okay, baby, but remember, that jab has to be a little bit more sharper than that, right? You're being a little lazy with it, right? Now, remember, you don't have to fall into his fight, okay? You keep doing your fight, okay? Now, like I say, 2 hands to the body, okay, babe? Now, we have to keep it down, remember? We have to keep it down, right? So we have to be looking a little bit more sharper than that, all right? And pick them nice, okay? Okay, pick them nice. And remember, we don't have 1 hand, all right? We got 3 hands, okay, baby? Okay? And we're going to turn them just a little bit. We don't need to reach with them. Just turn them a little bit, all right, baby? And boom, okay? Then we go with the motion, okay, baby? So we're going to go to the bank now, right?
What a contrast to last October 31 when Brendan Engel barely tried to speak to Hamed, and Hamed made clear that he wouldn't listen to him if he did. Tonight, listening very intently to the new voice in his corner, Oscar Suarez. But George, you spent 17 years listening to one voice in the corner. How strange is it for the Prince now to be listening to an entirely new guy?
It's shock. It's going to take more than just sitting in the corner. It just does not sink in because the guy gets to be part of you, that voice. This guy has not become a part of him yet. As you see, he hasn't thrown one body shot as he was told. Now you see one. But it was back to the head, like I believe I know what I'm doing.
He spent his whole life polishing a style which is completely and entirely his own. There isn't another fighter in the sport who attacks in exactly the same way as Prince Nassim Hamed. Suarez wants more conventionality. The Prince just wants to smile and knock people for a loop with power shots. Like that.
Engel is really smart when he's not doing anything. He's moving his head. You got to keep your hands up at all time and tuck your chin with a puncher like this.
Engel keeping his right glove pinned to his cheek, the guard against the left hand. And that time, Hamed punches right through the guard and lands a right. Engel just hasn't been able to mount any kind of attack.
Well, what makes Hamed special is not just his power, but a combination of the power, the quickness, the eyesight that sees everything coming.
That's right.
The movement.
The eyesight. I like that.
The reflexes,
yeah, he
the elusiveness. The fact that the other fighter stands in front of him, having been trained to fight conventionally, and wonders what in the world this guy thinks he's doing, and can't believe how effective it is.
Breaks a few rules here and there, but let me tell you, he makes up for it with the power.
It's a little like standing on the practice tee in golf and watching somebody with a horrendous swing and saying, oh, I'm going to tear this guy up on the course. And then after 5 holes, you're 4 shots down and you're thinking, what happened?
Engel is starting to go to the body just a little now.
Starting to get through, and Hamed comes back with a 3-punch combination.
He's wanting to go to the body with a combination, but Hamed has got to understand that your fighter must be coming to you to be able to land that shot. You can't go to him and throw combinations to the body.
Hamed ducking, smiling, firing the left hand, just missing. Engel misses wildly with the left, and Hamed effectively counters him inside. Prince Nassim delighting his fans in the crowd through the first 3 rounds with some vintage Nassim moves.
Now the Prince is starting to throw away a lot of his strength and endurance by throwing such hard shots.
Well, he's extremely knockout conscious, and tonight, maybe more so than ever.
How you feeling? How you feeling? Right. Good, good. Take it deeper, baby. Take it deeper. Take it deeper. Excellent. Excellent. Now, we rushed there a little bit, all right? Which you didn't need to. Okay, baby? You didn't need to do that, all right? Remember, you keep to the plan, okay, baby? Now, every time you throw that hook there, baby, I want to see it to the body, okay? Because he's there for you. Automatically, he's right there for you. Okay, baby? So we have to do it. Okay? There you go. Now, again, baby, we still...
Ingle's trainer is named Steve Pollard, himself a veteran fighter.
Ingle is getting $500,000 for this fight, by far the biggest purse of his career. He's also bet $10,000 on himself.
10,000 pounds.
10,000 pounds, which is about $16,000. That bet doesn't look too good right now.
Odds of 11-2. If he wins the bet, he wins 55,000 pounds to go on top of his purse. Harold, how do you have it through 3?
Jim, 3-0. 30-26. Prince Nseem Hamed. Give him an extra point for the knockdown in round 1. Certainly he's winning this fight. A clean punch from the left-hand stance. He's murdering. Good defense, good effective aggressiveness by the Prince as well.
I think a big mistake, the corner talking too much. You want to tell this guy, fight your fight. Don't forget to get into that body and let him alone.
They did ask for body shots again, and if Emmanuel Stewart is playing an active role in that corner, he's doing it during the rounds, talking to Suarez. Actually, he's seated on the opposite side of the corner from Suarez, so for the moment, there can be no conversation between Emmanuel and Oscar Suarez, though he's talking to Suarez's brother now, who's a chief second. But Emmanuel Stewart so far not talking to the Prince. Left hand lands for Nseem, and another.
He was caught by a straight right hand himself.
Yeah, first time he took a good punch to the head.
And there he goes to the body.
But it's not necessary that he integrate all of that body punching into his style. Let it come in the flow.
You want him to headhunt the Yorkshire hunter?
Yeah, go after him, and then if you're able to get a body shot, just remind him of it. But don't have him going out doing things he's not accustomed.
There's a trickle of blood from the right nostril of the Prince.
Right hand counter for Nseem. Ingle becoming much more aggressive now.
He keeps all his punches up. He's in success.
I hear exactly what you're saying, George. You think that Nseem's a lot better off if he just follows his instincts in there, because you can almost see him trying to think his way through what his new trainer wants him to do.
Yeah, see, when you're thinking body punching, you automatically bend your face down. That's why you see the bleeding of the nose bowing into these little jabs, subtle jabs.
So Ingle begins to mount an attack after having been frustrated through the first 3 rounds by the elusiveness of the Prince. In the last round, he got up to 57 thrown punches. This will be the first round in which he's landed a double-figure number of punches.
Ingle must be in great shape to be going at this rate.
April and May boxing on HBO. Next Saturday night, Boxing After Dark presents one of its all-time best lineups as lightweight champion Shane Mosley takes on John Brown. What a fight, plus a battle between 2 well-known lightweight warriors, Ivan Robinson and Angel Manfredi. In May, it only gets better when Oscar De La Hoya, coming off his split decision victory over Ike Quartey, good left hook Oscar, defends his welterweight title against veteran Oba Carr. Also featured super featherweight champion Floyd Mayweather against Goyo Vargas. Then 1 week later on the 29th, boxing's other premier welterweight champion, Felix Trinidad, last seen dominating Pernell Whitaker in Madison Square Garden. This time he'll meet Vincent Petway in San Juan, Puerto Rico. April and May boxing on HBO. And now for the first time, we can see Emmanuel Stewart beginning to talk to Prince Nseem Hamed between rounds. Ingle landed 13 of 57 punches in round 4. That's by far his best round in the bout. Prince Nseem 18 of 65 by CompuBox numbers. Most of them power shots as usual.
Ingle is doing something I like. You get a guy basically who's a boxer who possesses a punch, make him come after you. away a lot of punching power, make him follow you around. Beforehand, Prince would get a rhythm to it. He'd hit you with 2 to the right, then he'd throw a power shot. All of that rhythm factor that he has is gone.
He lands 2 lefts, including 1 to the body. Engel comes back with a couple of left hands as Nassim stalked and looked for a chance to throw a right. Prince Nassim changing his lead foot from time to time. Now goes into a conventional stance. On paper, he's a southpaw. In reality, he's whatever he feels like at any given moment.
Yeah, but he's the rhythm that he possessed. He would always do 1, 2, 3 something. Now he's just waiting for 1 shot here and there.
Engel himself is a natural southpaw, rights and brushes his teeth with his left hand, but fights, as you can see, out of a conventional stance, and that helps his jab and his hook. Naz's right uppercut was blocked by Engel's glove, but he lands the left as Engel continues to stalk and look for bigger opportunities. Naz missing with the uppercuts, but if he lands one, he's going to score. Engel reaching to fire right to the body. Seems to feel as though he's weathered the early power storm. Remember, Prince Nassim knocked Engel down with a left hand in round 1. A double left, really, 1 to the body and 1 to the face.
Slight welt under the right eye of the Prince.
A lot of that has to do with him reaching in for those body shots. Everything else he does is sort of reflex, but when he goes to the body, it's a reach forward.
Crowd kind of sitting back in its seats now as the action slows in round 5. Naz going back to his elusiveness to stay away from Engel, who landed enough in the 4th and 5th to get Naz's attention.
Now Naz is doing his thing. Put your hands down, relax.
That was boring.
Earlier tonight, we had some excitement. Junior Jones fighting on the undercard against a little-known Coventry Englishman named Richard Evatt. In the first round, Evatt, with the tiger-striped hair, put Junior down. And in round 4, already behind on the scorecards, Jones was penalized a point for holding by English referee Paul Thomas. In round 8, they stood toe-to-toe and went at each other, and Evatt landed a right hand that again put Junior Jones seemingly in trouble. But in round 11, trailing on 2 scorecards and with his career hanging in the balance, the former 2-time world champion Junior Jones landed a clean left-hand shot that put Richard Evatt down and out. And he won the fight, although, as you see, going into the 11th, Jones trailed on 2 of the 3 scorecards and seemed, in our eyes, headed toward defeat.
Yeah, he looked like a shot fighter for 10 rounds, but found some ammunition, reloaded, and unloaded.
And landed a shot in the dark to salvage, for the moment, his career. Round 6. Prince Nassim with a whitewash so far on Harold Letterman's card. He's won every one of the 5 rounds as we come toward the midway point of the bout.
When you've boasted of your greatness, when you've told everybody you're the second coming of Muhammad Ali, you create a very high standard, and that's how he's going to be judged. He could win this fight 12 rounds to none, but if he doesn't put more hurt on Engel, doesn't stop him, it will not be a victory as far as the media and the fans are concerned.
And will it be a moral victory for Paul Engel?
Well, of course. I mean, it's a win. You go on to the next fight, can't knock everybody out, but Prince has established himself in such a way that is the high expectations of him.
Did McCullough, though he won very few rounds, get a moral victory for going the distance against the Prince last Halloween?
Well, in a sense, he's earned a fight with Eric Morales, the wonderful junior featherweight champion in May. So that showing helped him.
You got to remember, Muhammad Ali got a lot of decisions. What he do was to shuffle in between the round to make keep himself popular. So knockouts don't count for a lot. It's almost a fluke that happens beyond your expectation.
Yeah, when he had 18 in a row, George.
I've had 30 of them in a row. Doesn't mean a thing. Winning that big W, that's what we come to see.
No, I agree with you, but we're talking about a fighter whose popularity is what counts. It's what puts people into the seats to want to watch him.
George, you had 30 knockouts in a row, and Nسيم is landing a lot of shots in this round, incidentally. You had 30 KOs in a row and the highest knockout percentage of any heavyweight champion. Can you honestly tell me you were just as happy with the 12-round decision victories?
Yeah, I went to 12 rounds distance with Evander Holyfield, for instance. It seemed like I got a hand up because I did it. So people are not looking for a knockout. They dress up, put on their suits to sit down and watch a fight. If they get a knockout, good. What tells the story, we'll see after the night with the ratings. How many seats were about to?
Well, I think it sort of depends on how you sell it. You never went out of your way, as the Prince does, to style yourself a knockout artist and say you were going to dominate your opponent. The body shot did it again. Second vicious left-hand body shot of the evening for Nسيم.
You can't catch his wind. That's a hard shot to recover from.
Only 10 seconds left in the round. Let's see if Naz launches a wild one. Went back to the body. With both hands to the body. And really hurts Engel as the 6th round comes to a close.
That's what they came to see, George.
That's right. That's right. But they would love to see it for 12 rounds.
I told you, right, Eddie, that's what we want, okay? Deep breath. Come on, give me deep breath. Give me deep breath. Come on, give me deep breath. Give me deep breath. Shit. So now we're having fun, okay, baby? Now we're having fun, okay? Take another deep breath. Another deep, baby. Come on, another deep. Yeah.
Okay, Chef. I ain't got no cup, right? No. Beauty.
Left to the body, something we didn't see the Prince do much of in the past. There's no opening up top because of the defense of Engel. That body punch put a hurting look on Engel's face.
And it was done right in the flow of things. He didn't aim for it. He just let it happen.
That facial expression from Engel tells you everything you need to know about the natural punching power of Prince Nسím. Some fighters just have heavy hands, and he is a case in point.
What we wonder now is whether he'll bring his right hand down and leave his jaw open.
Harold, how do you have it through 6?
Jim, 60-52, 6 rounds to nothing, Prince Nسím Hamed. Jim, let me tell you something. The knockdown, he knocked him down with a left hook. That means he was fighting out of the right-handed stance. He's switching righty to lefty very often, and he's very effective at it.
He's now back in the southpaw stance, so left hands here are crosses. Either way, they're effective. And while he does generate power with the right hand, the more we watch him, the more it seems that the left is his thunder and lightning.
Engel landed a nice right hand while we were chatting, talking heads here. Tough kid, Engel.
He's keeping his gloves up high, so a lot of the power is going off, being absorbed in the gloves.
Well, and you might have heard Naz bragging to the new trainer about his body shots as he went back after round 6. He's sort of like a kid with a new toy with these body shots. Fascinated to see how easily he can hurt Engel to the ribcage. There's the old Naz. Wild, off balance, and effective. The crowd cheers mightily, and Naz smiles as Engel lands a right hand.
It was a good right hand by Engel. All those body shots.
When he doubles up with the left hand and comes back to the body, he is doing some damage to Paul Engel. Engel lands a left and another left. So Engel making a nice little comeback in this round after having been knocked down in round 6.
Bloody Naz's nose once again.
Now, the Prince is using his rhythm. Goes one side with power, same side with power, and then come back with another shot. What with another hand.
And Engel starting to tire as he landed a shot well below Naz's waist on his hip. But he doesn't tire much, does he? Keeps those feet going. High intensity, rapid pace. Just can't throw as many punches as he expected to throw against Prince Nacim.
When you throw that many body punches that the Prince has thrown, you bound to land on those elbows a few times. By the time this fight is over, he's going to have some sore hands.
He says that he broke his left hand as early as the 3rd round against Wayne McCullough, though we know of no procedure or splint that he wore after the fight.
That's when you're in danger. You're getting underneath well, so you've got to close it up and then start driving in. Start driving in, don't be gentle, be rough. Don't be fucking gentle. This is a looking man's game. Get in there and whack the elbows, shoulders, the lot. Take his balance and step on him. Take his balance and step on him.
His mouth is open like a train. He's only trying him.
Watch him. He's getting frustrated to book it. I'm telling you, you're frustrated because he can't hit you. He's trying to put the bombs on. Now he's trying to just flick off and he's trying to measure you up. Just keep that head moving. Keep fading him off and drawing him. Start telling him.
To the middle, he's going to go down.
Okay.
It's a big gap he's giving you, but you're not operating inside. You're doing everything with outside. You're so fucking strong that you're twisting him around, but you're not hitting the queen.
You heard from Engel's corner. They're very excited. That was probably Engel's first round. And you heard Emmanuel Lewis in the Prince's corner saying you got to stand there closer and you got him, which is just what he did.
If you're a ringside judge and you were looking hard for a round to give to Engel, round 7 would probably have been your choice. Punch stat numbers, Hamed landed 26 of 64, Engel 16 of 61. So at least he was in the round. Emmanuel Stewart and Prince Nacim both claim that they have no plans to do any future business together, but here's Emmanuel in the corner tonight. Let's see what happens down the road. Naz is pretty good friends with heavyweight champion Lennox Lewis and says that he spoke to Lewis just 3 days ago as he got ready for this fight.
Engel caught the Prince napping a little bit. That's what happened when your corner tells you to get in there and go throw straight punches, get a little closer. You start thinking about all of this foolishness and you find yourself waiting for something. You can hit yourself. Let it happen in the floor thing.
Prince Nacim produced 2 8th-round knockouts in his career. He knocked out both Steve Robinson and Tom Boom Boom Johnson in round 8. He had an 11th-round knockout of Manuel Medina back in 1996. Those the only 3 knockouts which have come this late in a bout. And now Joe Cortez stops the action to allow Engel to recover from low blows.
Okay. I think it was the mouthpiece.
Oh, that's it, the mouthpiece. Okay, excuse me. Prince's mouthpiece replaced.
You see, when a corner man tells you to do something, sometimes you got to stop what you're doing and wait and look for it. You got to be careful how you say it. It's not what you say, but how you say it.
Judging from the look on his face between rounds, I'm not sure Engel felt as encouraged as his corner did by the events of round 7.
Well, that's the job of the corner, is to make you feel like you're winning the fight. You can lose every round, but the corner said, boy, you're doing great. Something can happen.
Did Dick Sadler used to do that for you?
No, I didn't go many rounds.
Engel's the kind of kid who would start a fight in an empty room. He really wants to try to do it, but it's very hard to do what you'd like to do against a fighter of Nacim's style, power, and quickness.
Yeah, he really wants to fight.
Good right hand by him. Naz slowing down a little bit in this round. Landing a left hand just as the bell sounds. Premiering Tuesday, April 20, we'll bring you the most recent edition of Real Sports with Brian Gumbel. Some of the stories to be featured. NASCAR NASCAR? If it's the most popular spectator sport in the United States and the numbers say so, then why are there so few black faces on the track or in the stands? Also, an investigation into the billion-dollar business of counterfeit golf clubs. Only $1 billion? Plus a look at pitcher David Cone, quickly developing into one of baseball's most outspoken citizens. Real sports, where nothing is out of bounds.
Yeah, because it bothers him. He doesn't know how to have a jab coming from a southpaw. It's different if he was picking it and returning, but he doesn't do anything. Yeah, baby. Just keep playing with it with the jab. Just start it.
Ahmed has found something with the body punch. The only way to go when a fighter is protecting his head that way. But right after that punch, Ahmed lost his mouthpiece.
And if you were listening, you noticed that the gag order is off for Emmanuel Stewart, who is now talking a blue streak to Prince Naseem Hamed.
He tried his best to be quiet.
Well, but the most fascinating thing about this is that he's not getting paid for this.
Stewart is the kind of guy who would go and do a round for someone for free all the time.
Yeah, but
like Angelo Dundee, they love this.
A couple of fighters who were paying him a lot of money decided they didn't want to pay him all that money anymore.
There are many who believe Emmanuel Stewart is the best trainer in boxing. There are at least as many who believe he is the best self-promoter among trainers.
All of the above.
Engel busier and busier now as we get into the later rounds. Naseem hot-shotting, but slowing his own pace.
Well, he's having some problems with his bleeding. A lot of that, he has to pay the price for all of that body hunting early on.
And if the decision victory over McCullough rubbed a little of the bloom off of Naseem Hamed's rose, what would two straight route-going performances do?
Oh, good left hand by Engel.
Engel still wobbling a little bit with the left hand. Body shot from Hamed. Prince Naseem a little bit more active, but not so intense that he seems to indicate he's desperately trying to finish. Surely he knows he's well ahead in the bout.
He is sold on body punching this time.
Isn't he, though?
Yes. And Cortez is doing a great job of forcing this fight and staying out of the way.
Cortez is a terrific referee. I totally agree with you about that. He handled the Naseem McCullough fight in Atlantic City as well.
Folks, a fight's breaking out here. Naseem's face starting to look like a bloody mess.
Like a fighter, yeah.
Now, for the first time, we see footwork by Naseem. There's nothing wrong with moving out of the way.
Let's remember that at the start of this round, that Emmanuel Stewart told him to stand in there and go. All of a sudden, the Prince has decided, wait, let me get out of here. Because look what happened when I stood in there.
He's got a bloody nose and a bloody mouth.
Right. You start passing blood out of your mouth and nose like that, you have a problem breathing. And that's what is happening now.
And he's not used to it. He's never been caught. So he's not particularly accustomed to tasting or seeing his own blood. It's a new experience for him, and Engel celebrates the appearance of the blood.
And Hamed shook his head, saying to him, good round.
Everything is okay, okay? Don't worry about it.
Now, this is when the challenge should stop in the corner.
I'm a rubber.
They just say we lost that round. We lost the bid, okay?
Okay.
You got to go through the middle. You got a wide open gap. Shoot that hard left hand through the middle, man. The outside punch is all out here. He's catching it.
Yeah.
And he's coming back because you see you're tired when you finish up. You're hung out. You're making a work through the middle. You got a road man right. Get set it to right. Look him. Right between it.
Seriously, it's pushing. It's drawing down now. It's going to listen. It's going to be dangerous. For the first 30 seconds now, each round, each 30 seconds, stand off, draw him off till he starts drawing down a bit. Then start putting it on. When you put it on now, you've got to turn it on like you've never done it. Keep that pressure there, Paul. You're doing it. Keep that fucking pressure there, Paul. Get out.
Trainer telling Engel, give it a little bit of time. Don't come right out. as the round goes on, put more pressure on.
Harold, how do you have it scored through 9?
88-81, 7 rounds to 2. Prince Nseem Hamed, he's got a 7-point lead, Jim. Paul Ingle's got to do something dramatic in the last 3 rounds. Watch the Prince's right jab. Joe Cortez can't make up his mind if it's a backhand tonight. You're not allowed to backhand the guy. And watch the late hits that Douglas ding-a-ling-a-ling. You can't hit him after the first ding-a-ling.
For the first time in the fight, Ingle, by CompuBox numbers, had the edge in power shots in round number 9. So he's won at least a couple of rounds, or so it would appear. How close are the judges' scorecards? Sometimes closer than Harold's. 2 judges from England tonight, 1 from Florida. Florida, I should say, in the USA.
A lot of this has to do with the wrong guys in your corner talking too much.
Well, you heard Emmanuel Stewart say, fire the left-hand shot straight up the middle, and Prince Nseem just tried 2 straight left hands up the middle.
Right, and Ingle's trainer, Steve Pollard, said it's going to be dangerous as you go in. He knows that this is the most dangerous time when you're trying to put the pressure at the end of a fight on a puncher.
Well, amazingly, Pollard is on record before the fight as having said, it's undoubted that if Nseem catches my man with a clean shot, my guy's going down. I want him to know that.
I can tell you this, the corners over there has confused this guy an awful lot.
You mean the Prince?
Yeah, he's been awfully confused tonight, standing around trying to do what they told him to do.
There are a lot of Yorkshiremen in the crowd rooting for Paul Ingle, rooting against Prince Nseem, and Ingle's having his moments again in round number 10. Ingle's like Prince Nseem used to be with Brendan Ingle in the sense that he's listened to the same trainer his whole professional career. The only voice he's ever heard in the corner is Steve Pollard. Crowd thought Nseem almost went down. He was off balance, as is so frequently the case, and Ingle is landing his right-hand shots fairly freely now as he comes back in the latter stages of the fight.
Prince has never been in this kind of a war. Not over a distance. Of course, his fight with Kelly was a short, intense war.
He's got one solid fighter in front of him, that Brian Ingle.
It'll be ruled a slip, and round 10 comes to a close. And for showmanship effect, Nseem flips up, or kips up, I should say, from the mat. An old gymnastics move. And Cortez now allows the round to come to a close.
Another man is going to the Prince's corner. His father has some advice for him.
Looking pretty bad. You got to see what's happening after you finish up your punches. That's when he's coming back. You know what I'm saying?
Go slice, baby.
He's getting after you finish your punches. You're laying out there, okay? You're trying now. If you just work your right jab, you can win the fight. You don't have to just work your jab. You can straighten up in between the middle. Just work your jab, jab, jab.
Hey, there you go. You're going to take this.
Work your right jab.
The Prince getting a little tired, catches that big right hand, shook him, turned his head 90 degrees or more.
Round 10, a big round for Paul Ingle, who by CompuBox numbers landed 26 of 68 to 16 of 51 for the Prince and had a 23-9 edge in power shots. So the momentum of the bout belongs to the underdog, Paul Ingle, as we go into the championship rounds, 11 and 12.
And it looks as though the Prince has decided to freeze the ball.
Nseem's insurance, he has scored 2 knockdowns in the bout against Ingle.
He's the better boxer, so he should win this fight. And if a knockout presents itself, let it happen.
Here's the 3rd knockdown. And Pollard told Ingle it would be dangerous. And Joe Cortez stops it. Second 11th round knockout of Prince Nseem's career. The straight left-hand shot up the middle. Too much for Paul Engel in round 11.
Way to go. The referee was once again just right on the money.
We give the Prince credit. Arguably one of his toughest fights. Pulled it together, did the right thing at the end, and still had enough to knock out an overeager opponent.
Not before a couple of anxious moments, a couple of rousing celebrations for the Engel rooters and the crowd, and a longer fight than Naz expected when he told us yesterday, don't blink. But all in all, the power's still there. He knocked Engel down 3 times, including the last one that sealed the issue. Let's take another look at the knockout, George, on a perfect left-hand shot.
Yeah, it was all about moving around. He got his legs together. This guy walked right into it.
Well,
I'd like to have seen that a lot earlier. When his legs were moving, he's in charge. Bounce to the left, then throw.
Engel, as you've told us so many times, was following a puncher in those last few rounds.
Yeah, you got to make sure that you keep your chin tucked down, but he hit him on top of the head anyway.
So Prince Naseem's vaunted power wins the bout for him as referee Joe Cortez decides that Paul Engel is not safe continuing in the 11th round. He beat the count, but he was still wobbling, and it was the 3rd time in the bout that he'd been down.
And he kind of fumbled off the ropes. I think that's what made the difference when he was getting up. His hand slid a little bit off the ropes, and that caused the referee to have more concern.
Naseem Hamed seemingly struggling to adapt to a new style, new voices in the corner, and new instructions. Nevertheless, although tasting his own blood, pulls it out. And a new knockout streak has begun. Crowd got their money's worth. Here's Michael Buffer.
We must indeed give our respects to the man who will not have his hand raised first. A round of applause for this challenger from Scarborough who came here tonight and gave it his all, Paul Engel. Referee Joe Cortez.